Hey YouTube, this is proof that you can, if they're short enough, you can get bare root trees in the back of a two-door car trunk. The guys at the nursery weren't sure I was telling the truth, but we made it work. We are going to be planting some bare root apricots and cherries today, and I thought I would just show you what we're doing. We're updating our orchard a little bit, and we had room for 4 more trees, so I just brought these home from the nursery. And they were kind enough to prune them for me before we put them in the car, which is lovely, so I don't have to do any of that. We just need to get them in some water and get them out in the orchard, so let's check it out. They bagged them up for me, which was really nice, but they're bare root in there, and I will show you that here in a minute. But my hope is that we can soak them in some water, and since I know they won't fit in a 5-gallon bucket, I'm going to try putting them in this fairly good sized cooler. So let's see if they'll fit, see if my wizardly trick was right. If my guess was right, they fit. That will totally work, and it's wheeled, so I can pull them out to the orchard like this. I'm going to soak these in water out in the orchard for 1 to 3 hours maybe while I dig some holes with a shovel, and I'll show you some of the things that we know about how to set and how to plant your bare root fruit trees in the spring. And it is April 1st right now, so it's pretty cold and fairly windy and damp out today, so it's a good day to do this. Okay, so they sent them home with me in a nice big bag so they wouldn't get dirt all over the back of the car. And they did trim them up before we put them in the car. They were pruning because these trees all just came in today and they're getting ready to pot them up. So they came out and pruned them for me a little bit, which was lovely. And the hope is that the dog will not start chewing on these because he is a chewer, and that would be a disaster. So say a little prayer that does not happen. So these are going to easily fit in this nice big cooler carefully, and we just want to get them soaked in some water to rehydrate all of these because they're pretty dry, and make sure they're all down in there. And that is what a bare root looks like. Kind of scary, but they're not hard to deal with. There's just a couple things to know so you can get them off to the best start. Can you not help me quite so much? Please. I don't need quite so much help. Okay, let's go get a hose. Let's get the hose. Come on. I'm just going to go ahead and fill this, and I'm going to let them sit out here for a while this afternoon while I have time to dig the holes. I need to measure where they're going. We're renovating our whole orchard. We have 5 trees, and we're going to add these 4, which will bring us to 3 rows of 3, and we're putting in new cross fencing and tearing out the front yard, and we tore out a bunch of the orchard ground to put more lawn. Like, that's a whole other video, I think. Or not. I mean, it's not much to see. We're just renovating, but I'll share some before and after pictures along the way, maybe. Even after 25 years, you would think this would look better. I mean, if you're just starting out, not to be Debbie Downer, because it's not a downer thing to say, but you're never done. You're never done. It's never over. You're probably never going to have a time where where your property is done. There's always another project. There's always more weeds. There's always more mulching. There's always some new idea that you want to change it up, mix things up. I mean, we've been here 25 years now. This fall will be 25 years, and we're tearing out. We've basically just renovated we're tearing out everything. Like, the whole front yard is being torn out, and then what I want to keep, I'm saving, and we're going to replant it, sort everything out. It just went wild into the cottage look of like, wow, it looks like no one lives here. We were way beyond cottage garden, more like no one lives here, maybe, question mark. So you can see the water level is about where I want it, and is about as much as it'll hold. And everything is submerged because I don't want any roots sticking out, drying out. So we're going to just leave them in there for a while. You don't want them to suffocate. You don't want to leave them in there for 24 hours or anything. And I'll go turn that off and leave these to sit, and hopefully the dog stays off of them, and then we'll start digging some holes, and I'll show you some tips about how the holes are going to need to be so that these trees get a good start on their first summer here. So I have just measured, based on our existing trees, we are going to be 9 feet off the fence line here, which is because that tree is 9 feet off on the center of the tree, so I'm putting these trees in line that way, and we're doing about 20-foot spacing between these. I believe these are semi-dwarf I'd have to look. I believe they're semi-dwarf. I don't think they're dwarf trees. I just wanted them small because I don't want to be climbing up on giant ladders when I'm getting older. So I am going to do a fairly wide hole. I love this particular shovel because it goes down nice and straight and can get into hard. We have hard kind of clayish soil and it's soaking wet right now, so it's just like muddy clay. So I'm going to dig a fairly big hole. Probably I want it to be bigger than the root. As the roots are spread out, we want to have room for those roots to go in the hole and spread out easily, not crammed, because if you cram them and turn them in the hole, they're going to grow in a circle, and that is not good for the tree. You want them to just flare out in the hole as they are naturally growing already. So I'm going to start this. I won't subject you to watching me dig a hole, but I will show you here in a second through the magic of video. There will be a hole. I've just hacked my way down through a little bit of the depth here, and I thought I would start with the biggest tree, and as you can see, the hole is not wide enough. How fun is that? So I need to go a lot wider if we're going to put this tree in this hole. So I'm going to go put this back in the water, and we're going to widen this out. Let's take a look. That's where the center needs to be. We need to go, oh my goodness, we need to go out a long ways. We need to go out there, and this is a Bing cherry, by the way, and we need to go out there. So we need to make kind of a, oh, that's a lot of dirt, and this dirt is hard to cut. This is where I could use one of those helpful, strapping young yard workers. All right, I'm gonna go put this back in water, and I'll keep digging. And I have just dug this into basically the shape of this root system. If you can see that, it's pretty odd. So we've made little, I cheated and I made channels for the long roots to fit into, so I didn't have to dig the hole that big of a diameter. I just dug channels for those roots to stretch out and be comfortable in the position that they're used to being in. Okay, the other thing we're going to talk about is this right here. This is a grafted tree, and this is the grafted rootstock. This is the tree that we want fruit from, and they're grafted together at that joint. So we want that to be just an inch or two above the ground, because we don't want this to try to root down into the ground once it's settled in here. So I'm going to try and keep the soil level about where you can see it was already at, you know, right in here. So we want to have that just above the ground, which I used to think was not what we wanted. When I grow roses, I want that bud union to be below the ground level. So this is a little different. I'm learning something new today with grafted trees. So I have brought over a bucket load of this that we bought from a nursery to mix into the hole, because our dirt is not as nice. It's rocky and a little bit more clay than we want. So we're going to mix it with some of this and fill that hole back in. And we're just making sure these roots are nice and comfortable and have kind of the same growth pattern that they already had in the hole that they were already living in. And I'm going to start backfilling this. One of the things I know you don't want to do is leave a big air pocket under that root wad. So one of the things you can do, if you're thinking ahead before you put this in here, you can build a little cone of dirt to spread those roots down over, kind of as a reverse planting. Instead of trying to throw dirt and get it under there, I might just build a little cone right there, and I'll show you what I mean. If you just build a little cone right there, and then when I bring this root wad back in, it's got some dirt up inside that little area, if that makes sense. Okay, so I've got these settled in, and I've got some dirt up under that, and we should have this just at the level above the ground that we want. So we're going to go ahead and start filling this with a mix of these two soils. We've got this existing soil and a bucket load of nicer soil, so I'm going to mix it about half and half. And then we're going to need to stake these, which I'm not going to do on this video. I just wanted to show you kind of how to get a bare root in the ground, and then we need to stake them for wind and dog. So I'm going to start filling this, and I'll show you one more thing about filling your holes once we're finished. So I've just gotten this covered in with the soil that we have, a mix of both, but I used a little bit more of the dirt that we bought, just because the soil out here is not going to be the best thing for new things starting off. And I've just set this where the bud union is, right there. It's about a good 2 inches above the soil. And I will tell you a couple of things I learned just recently about planting trees that we've always done wrong. We've always planted them with the bud union below the soil, which it turns out is wrong because you don't want that grafted tree to start rooting in, because you want the bud union to be the roots. That's the root system. And we're going to be adding cardboard around the bottom of this just to help with some weed suppression right at first, because this is a very weedy area that we took this all and scraped it down, and we're going to be planting grass, but we're going to put some cardboard and then some mulch around each of these trees just to make them look pretty and to keep weeds from just growing up, grass and weeds from growing right up around them. And the other thing that we also learned was wrong that we've always done is to not pack this soil down, like jump on it with your feet and pack it in really tight and get this really tamped down, because that takes away the airspace that's underground that those roots need. So make sure there's no big air pockets, because that will dry out roots and kill them, but it does need enough air within that soil. So just give it a normal tamp down, but don't, get up and do a rain dance on it. So there are 3 more of these to plant. This one took me most of the afternoon to get done, so I'll see how many more I can get done today. And hopefully by next year we'll have cherries from this. This is a Bing cherry, and the other one's a Queen Anne, I believe. So I hope this helped you a little bit with planting bare root trees in your new orchard. And I'm gonna go start digging some more holes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.